Dear friends and followers, welcome back to my channel. It's the 1 minute debrief. 10 videos in 10 minutes, giving me only 1 minute to debrief the video. So no messing about and let's get started.
In devoir 4037, Kennedy ground 31 left, shortened, and stand by a second.
Okay, here we go with the first video. It's a glider. What I already dislike, a glider should not be in clouds. You can hear the vertical speed going to descend. Wow, the speed's also super low. They're losing some altitude. Now they're in full IMC. Yo! What? Shit, what's he doing, mate?
Spin. Nose down. I have control. I have control.
Okay. As I mentioned during the video, a glider should never be in IMC, meaning in instrument meteorological conditions, because a glider, as you will see here in the video, does not have the required instruments to fly in IMC. And the most important instrument that is missing in a glider is the artificial horizon. The artificial horizon is the most important instrument you need when flying into IMC. And gliders don't have that. So whatever the instructor thought of doing here was so incredibly dangerous. So the golden rule actually here is to trust your instruments. But you have to have the instruments, which this plane doesn't have. Yeah, this actually makes me super upset that this was sort of an instructor's flight and they went into IMC with a glider. Don't do that. Okay, nice little Korean 777 coming in for landing. Yo! Hey! And another one. And another one. I can immediately spot something that sort of I want to say went wrong. You can see there's absolutely no wind. So it's calm wind. So you can't say this was a bad landing due to crosswinds or anything. It's just judging by the windsock. What you can also spot is that the pilot is flaring a little bit too early, meaning the plane had to still actually descend onto the runway. And then I assume either one of the pilots reacted and then pushed down, so the plane went down. Then the other pilot maybe have counteracted, said, okay, I don't want to land on the nose gear. So he pulled back, then the plane actually touched down, then it did that bounce. And just look at the horizontal stabilizer or the elevator, how it goes up and down, up and down. It seems to me as at some point the pilots must have switched control because either the captain has decided, okay, this is way too dangerous what my colleague is doing here. I have to take action and control this flight. And yeah, it just turned out into a super bouncy landing. The flare is the ultimate phase of flight that decides if you're going to experience a hard or bouncy landing. I did a whole video on how to flare. Just click it right here and it'll show you sort of a technique on how to do it. Okay, we have a RyanAir 737-800 coming in for landing. Ooh! What? How? Okay, what we see here is not necessarily the landing that is interesting. Just a split second before the plane touched down, you can see that the reversers opened. Now this is a super unusual situation. I read up on a little bit on the 737 reversers sort of actuation when you can apply reverse thrust. Now if the radio altimeter says 10 feet or shows 10 feet and your thrust levers are at idle, Boeing allows you to go into reverse thrust. And that's what exactly happened in this moment. So the colleague has already throttled back to idle, which is totally fine. He was in the flare and he may have had the feeling that he had already touched down and then he applied reverse thrust, which was a split second too early, but it was within the limits of Boeing and saying we can do that. And then you can see in the video that the reverse is open and he touched down. But this is something very, very rare, and it obviously means that you cannot activate reverse thrust in mid-flight. Yes, I have to admit I have seen this video before and it makes me incredibly proud. Boom, a bit of a bounce. But fantastic. Slowly brings the nose wheel down. There we go. The horizontal stabilizer elevator is fully extended. All right. Okay, what we see here is a super rare case. It's a 747 coming in for landing with one wing gear not extended on the right-hand side. According to the Boeing books, you can actually do that landing. And their colleagues from Virgin did a fantastic job. Now, what I really like about this video is you can see that the elevator at the back of the horizontal stabilizer is fully extended in the up position, which is actually a requirement by the checklist. There is a checklist on how to land with one wing gear not extended. If you want me to do a video on this entire checklist, because the checklist is something like 20 pages long, I'll be more than happy to, but I can't really debrief this in 1 minute. But nevertheless, it shows that the 747 is capable on landing only on 3 gears of the main gear. And yeah, Virgin did a great job. No one was harmed in this incident. I'm pretty sure they just repaired it and went flying after that again. Okay, the Russian Antonov or Ukrainian Antonov 124. Why is there ice hockey players? No way. What? How? And the guy falls. How is that even possible? Oh my god. Okay, that's something I have not yet seen. That's crazy. An Antonov 124, and they must have laid out the entire fuselage or the inside of the cabin with ice. I don't know if this was like a photo shoot or an advertisement of some sort, but this is quite unique. Crazy. If you know anything more about this flight or about this setup, please comment below. I'll be really interested to see why would they put ice into the plane. I highly doubt that this is fake. It looks super real. Oh boy. What's she doing, this poor lady? Oh my god. Okay, judging by the picture here, you see it's an Air India flight. What I like about this video is all the passengers should have watched my video on the little hole in the windows, why it's there, and they would have known that actually the windows of an airplane are made up out of 3 panes. Absolutely nothing to worry in case that happens. It's not a structural part of the plane. It is just a sort of safety plastic cover to protect you as a passenger from scratching and damaging the other 2 panes with inside the sort of fuselage, which are far much more important. So nothing to worry. But yeah, they should have watched my video. Video's right here. This is, I guess, a traffic pattern training for young cadets, meaning you come out of flight school, you get your type rating on an Airbus A320, and then you do these traffic patterns at some remote airfield somewhere. Obviously, the captain to the left, monitoring the whole situation. The autothrust was off, autopilot off obviously as well, but I am just judging this on what I've heard, is that the countdown of the radio altimeter was a little bit fast, and the captain reacted so fast in trying sort of preventing a real hard touchdown, or even not even touching down at all, wanting to get the plane immediately airborne again and into a go around. He reacted rapidly, obviously taking control immediately of the plane, and you can also hear that dual input, meaning that the cadet was still sort of trying to land the plane and do something with it, but obviously the captain has then taken control with his side stick and then tried to get the plane airborne again. It is a very stressful situation in that moment. It is not easy, especially for cadets coming from, let's say, more conventional planes, going onto the Airbus, which is fly-by-wire, and goes into that flare mode just before it touches down. Can be a little bit difficult for the cadets at the beginning. So I want to say that the reaction of the captain here was really good. Okay, a little general aviation plane landing in some remote field. Oh, what's going on here? Ah, okay, they've got two throttles. Just seeing that now. Why is he pulling out? Wait. Oh, look at your airspeed. They come in for landing. It seems okay, but then suddenly the instructor takes over and applies full throttle. Then they get airborne again, nowhere near center line, sort of swerving off the runway. And then, I don't get it, why he's pulling out power. He's right over the trees. And then he goes full power, obviously put way too much pitch. And then you can see as the airspeed just drops, the plane goes into a stall. Meaning the left-hand wing just stalled and then it sort of banks over and lands into a forest. Absolutely no sense. Why did they pull back on the power? They were more or less in a go-around, and you have to apply takeoff power or go-around thrust for at least 500 feet, let's say, above ground. Why is he throttling back? Sorry, I cannot tell you more on this, but this is super, super upsetting because it's just sort of a chain reaction. There's no communication. Okay, you might not hear this on the camera, but the instructor is just applying throttle without even notifying his student. Either tell him perform go-around thrust, and then the student has to do it himself. And I can't even see what happened in the first place that caused the go-around. And the rest of it was just lacking performance. Really, really sad. Aerobatic plane. Mate! What? Oh. Yeah, ach du Scheiße is the right word. Boy. You see that the plane is in a very, very steep left-hand turn, and as he's coming out of that turn, he hits the water with his left-hand wing. Now, my sort of just judgment on this video, I think that the pilot has misjudged how high he is in regards to the lake. Now you see on the lake there is absolutely no waves and it's a sunny day, and I'm pretty sure that by the reflection of the lake his vision was sort of distorted and he couldn't really judge how high he still is, and he pulled out too late out of that turn. But because of his high airspeed he actually sort of skimmed across the water, and I think that actually saved him because he still had so much airspeed to sort of get him out of the water again. And then he sort of landed the plane on its belly, which was great because he didn't stall it, meaning the plane didn't flip on its back and he could then potentially drown, because I read up into the description that he actually survived that crash. So he more or less saved himself because he was like skimming across the water like one of those flat stones you do. Dangerous, but luckily a positive outcome. Now this video here is actually just to spike your motivation a little bit. If you are an aviation enthusiast or a pilot student right now, this could be you in the future. Just check out that landing. Mate. Stunning plane, stunning landing. Absolutely love it. I hope that sort of spikes your motivation a little bit. Okay. Ooh, what? Remote plane with a camera facing to the pilot and this bird attacking it. What? No freaking way. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Oh my god, that bird just like attacked that model airplane. I actually used to have one of those model airplanes as well, where you had like a little model pilot inside of it. I mean, he probably just like super glued that head on top of that little mannequin, and that bird just like went for the pilot. Amazing, love it. The pilot of that remote control plane probably got the shock of his life when he saw that the head of his pilot is missing. Love it, really, really cool. Fantastic. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this 10-minute debriefing video. If there are videos you would like me to debrief in the future, please write them into the comment section below by using the link that I can just click on it, and then I will decide if it comes up in the future videos. That's it. Here's your checklist for today. Subscribe to my channel, check. Activate the notification bell, check. Follow my Instagram account, check. And perform a touch and go at my website, check, where you can get this beautiful 747-8, the Captain Joe version. Really, really nice. And don't forget, a good pilot is always learning. Wishing you all the best. Your Captain Joe. See ya.